Okay, this morning I woke up to see that I had a message from Stephanie Meyerwich. She left me a message on YouTube, and I'm gonna just try this new YouTube capture thing to see how it works. So I'm gonna reply back to your question. She said, "Hello, Mrs. Long. I'm a military wife as well. Do you have any advice for those who move around and how to make friends with other spouses and how to deal with the drama and all that comes from the military and military spouses? I'm 21 and I'm from Texas, but recently moved to California, and girl, it has been hard. I've been here for 8 months and I still have yet to meet anyone that I trust. So far, it's just me, my husband, and my dog. Laugh out loud, please, and thank you." All right, Stephanie. Hey, girl. Um, to answer your question, um, how we've handled this, we've moved, I believe, six times since my husband has been in the Army. And what we have always done, our first move was to Hawaii. And when we moved to Hawaii, we moved there with knowing one person, and that was through my father-in-law. He gave us a connect, and the person who she helped us with finding an apartment, she helped us with finding furniture. But then 1 month later, she moved. Um, I can tell you that 20. I was 20 years old when he first got into the Army. And that was a struggle for me as well. Making friends, and it had nothing to do with me per se. It just was, when the difference between you and I is that I had a daughter and I had Jazz, and Jazz was not even a year old yet. And to move from Florida all the way to Hawaii was a huge, huge jump. Um, I made a couple of friends when I first got there. Um, one, the first person I think I actually met, her name was Timely, and she was a Caucasian woman that I had met, and she was real cool, down to earth. She got along with black folks really well. But it just seemed like when her husband got promoted, um, shit changed. And it was like her husband and my husband worked in the same unit, and it just became very different when he became an E5, and he was over James. So it got awkward, and she got funny acting. When we moved on base, we both ended up getting new housing on Schofield Barracks, and actually, if I looked at my backyard, I could literally like see her house from where I lived. Um, to me, she just changed, and she changed for the worst. And it was mainly because she had made friends with other military wives. And I just learned early on in my husband's career that I was not going to be part of the clique. And for one, I'm different. I'm different, and different in this aspect. I'm independent. I don't need other people to have fun. I don't need to be around other people to have fun or enjoy myself. Um, I'm an explorer. I have no problem with getting in the car and exploring my new surroundings by myself. Back then, it was called you just get lost and find your way back home. Now you have GPSs and stuff that you can look up and find things that are nearby or of interest. Um, that friendship didn't work out too well. Then I became friends with my neighbor who actually lived right next door to me when we lived in an apartment. It took her 8 months to speak. Okay, so like I would walk by, I'd see her husband, I would wave and say hello, and I mean they just act like it was hard to do that. And eventually one day, I think her husband was going to be late for formation or something like that, and he had just got bold, and he asked my husband could he catch a ride with him on base. And from that point on, me and her talked, but it wasn't like we became homegirls or anything like that. Um, I struggled in the beginning. And then I want to say, after being there for about 6 months, my new neighbor, when we lived in our apartment, our new neighbor had moved in, and she had came next door, and she had asked could she borrow some flour because she was getting ready to fry some chicken. And long story short, it's 21 years later, and me and her are still friends. We became the best of friends when we lived in Hawaii, and it all started with her just coming next door asking me for some flour. I came over to her house the same day, sat, we talked, we got to know each other, and then from that point on, we just became homegirls, and we did everything together the 3 years that we lived in Hawaii. So I just think it just depends on who you meet and how you meet. I definitely would say don't force anything, because you force it, it ain't gonna work. Um, and if your gut is telling you to walk away, or keep your distance, or whatever the case may be, follow your gut, follow your female intuition, because you could be possibly saving yourself from the drama. um, I don't know how many military wives will watch this, but I'm just gonna say it and I'm gonna put it out there. I've never been a military wife clique. I've never been fond of it. First time in 21 years that my husband has been in the military, that we actually live on a base. And it's the second time we've lived on a base. And the community is lovely. I mean, great families live around here and stuff. And we heard that they do all types of cookouts and stuff like that during the summertime. And I think we had only been here 2 weeks, and I participated in a wife's brunch. And I got to meet a lot of the wives that live in the neighborhood and stuff like that. It was very nice. It was refreshing to see and meet these women and stuff. However, ask me if I've done it again. No, I haven't. And it was because at the first one, there was one, maybe two, that were there that was kind of like standoffish, or they want conversation to be about them, and if it wasn't about them, it was like they kind of was like in a mood and stuff. And I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna kiss nobody's ass to be nobody's friend. And just so happened that the one I'm talking about, she actually lives on the other side of me. And you don't speak to me when you see me outside, but when you see me in the grocery store, at the commissary, or you see me at the gym on base and stuff like that, then you want to act like you know me. Why? Like, for real. I don't do phony people, and I feel like a lot of military spouses that I've come in contact, it's phony. I mean, it's phony. It is drama, and you're right about that. I would just say, if you're looking to meet friends in your new place, you're in California, girl. Explore Cali. Hello, explore California. If you're someone who likes to get your hair done, I'm pretty sure you will meet women at the hair salon. If you are working, you'll meet people at your workplace. I just have always chose to meet friends outside of the military. Granted, they understand what you're going through, but a lot of drama and a lot of unnecessary bullshit comes along with that package, and I decline. I decline to be a part of it. First of all, your ass ain't the one wearing the rank. Your spouse is. The soldier, the service member. That's who's wearing the rank. Just because you're the colonel, or you're the whoever top dog, that don't mean that the wife, you hold the title. Because I am quick to tell a chick, get the hell up out my face. I have told a couple of my husband's I've told a first sergeant before. He asked me why my daughter wasn't part of an event that my husband was having when he was graduating from PLDC school. And I asked him, I said, well, you going to pay her daycare? And he said, no. I said, well, shut up then, because if you're not going to pay her daycare, then you need to keep it moving and don't say nothing to me. Well, he told my husband that he needed to check me. Honey, let me just say this. Who going to check me, boo? I'm going to be Stephanie to the day I die, okay? And I'm going to speak and say my mind. And sometimes that's one thing that these women can't handle. They can't handle you saying to them, okay, well, if your family is struggling financially, why don't you go get a job? They can't handle, why are you tripping when it comes to your husband is getting ready to be deployed. It's out of his control. There's nothing that you can do about it. Trust me, if I could fight that, I would. But sometimes you just got to pick and choose your battles. Sum this all up and make this short. Girl, don't seek friendship within the military community. If it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. I just so happen to make a lifetime friend and her husband, who actually was in the military as well. And actually, we are reunited when we moved to New Jersey, because she currently lives here in New Jersey. So we got reunited after being apart for about 15 years. So I'm just going to say this. Your best bet will be to seek friendship outside of the military circle. It's cool if you could make friends, but if you don't, sometimes your best bet is to make friends outside, because when you do have get-togethers with couples and stuff like that, the conversation is not going to be all about talking about the military, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines. It's not going to be about that. Completely different conversation. And sometimes that's best. Sometimes it's best for your spouse, because they don't want to talk about that all the damn time. I hope I answered your question. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask me. I am more than willing to help another military spouse out when it comes to acclimate into this lifestyle. Okay? Been doing it for 21 years. Okay? Have any more questions, please feel free to ask. All right? Talk to you later.